Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? It's April 6, 2020, and we had a wild day in the market. We gapped up this morning like 5% and finished up 7%, which was absolutely crazy. But we only tested the top of this range here. So it was a big move, but we're still not out of the woods. So I'm keeping an eye right up here on this 26.29 or the 260 on the SPY. Come here. Let's load them up. So you can see what we've got going on here. Excuse me, looks like a little bit of a bearish flag, bear pennant on the way down out of this thing. And if you guys don't know, like and subscribe to the video because today was our first Money Monday in the server and it was a ton of fun. We had the chat open to everybody that is a part of the server. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure to click the link in the description, join, and I've got a 55% off coupon if you join the server and shoot me with a DM or any one of the moderators. There's a 55% off option coupon, which Saber gave me for doing all this. So take advantage of that. And let me get back to the plays. We talked a lot today, actually. I kind of want to go over what we talked about today. We talked some long-term, which there's a good chance. Everything's on discount right now. So if you wanted to buy into some really quality dividend companies, like I bought Coke just a couple days ago, at almost a 4% dividend. This company's been around a long time. There's a lot of growth potential for them. Great brand name. So I'm happy to have them in my portfolio at such a high price. And I only put a little bit in. I plan to buy some more of this if we drop more. So stay posted for that. But it started to kind of look like I started talking to Dr. Derek, who's one of the normal members and was in with us on Money Monday, and he started pointing out that this looked pretty strong, and I agreed with him. So I picked up some calls on Coke as well with my shares, which have been looking pretty good with the strength of the market. If we get another bounce tomorrow, I imagine those will do pretty well. They're only May calls. March was last month. How can we forget March? Crypto God was looking at a long in Tesla, and I got a couple questions. One today was why I choose options. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check that one. I posted it earlier today. And yeah, let me go over some TA. I've got some Redfin in the long term as well. That's some of the stuff we were going over today on Monday Mondays. If you want to check it out, it's a lot of fun. So SPY, overall market, I'm really going to keep an eye out up in this last gap down area. It looks like we had quite a bit of resistance here. Where is my visible range? So there's a bunch of volume right here that we're going to have to watch out for. There's a lot of people with some positions here. And, the good old 1272 as well. So keep an eye. I don't think this is done. It looks like the momentum's kind of topping out as well on the 4 hour. The daily does not look good. So watching this develop into earnings is going to be what I'm doing. Wait for this to kind of develop a range. I imagine the 250 will be pretty strong up to possibly the 270, 280 area. If we can develop a range in there, we'll probably hang out there until we see any real significant impact from the inflation attempts that the Fed's throwing out, or we see lengthening timelines for the virus, people catching it again, really further heavier developments in what's going on right now. So I'm looking for a range to develop and then trade the further downside of that. Right now, we're kind of setting up for earnings. The first couple earnings plays we're looking at is, we talked about Shopify yesterday. That's still developing pretty well. They had a big day today, but they didn't come back up. Why won't I zoom in? Come on, there we go. They didn't come back up above where to fill this gap. So I'm still keeping an eye on them. The momentum doesn't look really good at all. Looks like we're getting a pretty heavy trap. So we filled this big gap down, and we have this gap down to fill here. So I'm expecting shop to probably drop coming into earnings. We've got earnings for shop approximately, I haven't checked their site, but it looks like it's scheduled for May 4th. So anything May 15th, that should be a good contract coming into this. After earnings, I may look to set up playing shop both ways, because it has potential really to move both ways. If we get down down here, this phantom, this 200 area, this will be really strong support for shop. So keeping an eye on that pretty close. Another one we were watching was NVDA. Well, that was not what I meant. I meant to say AbbVie, but NVIDIA is looking pretty interesting. I've had this channel on here for a long time, and they finally broke out of it. I tried shorting them here, which was a terrible idea, and they've given up quite a bit since. We're back up testing these levels again, which is pretty impressive for the correction that we had. I might be interested in making a play on these guys. They're really, this looks interesting. I'm going to have to dive into this tomorrow, so I'm going to add this real quick to my list, and then we will move on, and I will keep you guys posted on that tomorrow. So let's go to the one I wanted to see, which was AbbVie. It looks like we're coming up on a phantom here. I think this one could move a lot like NVIDIA, which we were just looking at, where it could get a really nice strong bounce. And we come up here to test the top of the cloud and up in the 80, 85, 86 mark. But we're going to have to close. I really think the important zone on AbbVie is going to be that 77 area. So once we close back above here, if you look at the 1 hour, it almost looks like we had a double top here. It could be considered divergence, a hidden divergence here. So keep an eye on that. Looks like we're possibly retesting that 38.2. So I may open some calls on this tomorrow. And the other thing we talked about, so we talked about Coke, we talked about Tesla. We have not talked about Tesla. Told you Crypto God was looking at it long for Tesla, but I didn't look at Tesla for you guys. And it's kind of in the same boat. Tesla's a big mover. They had some good news. So, momentum's on their side, news is on their side. The next couple quarters, I don't think Tesla will do the numbers that they have done. I think they got a lot of pre-orders and everything coming out of the factories in China, and they did really well Q4 and Q1. Q2 and for everybody's kind of up in the air still. So we'll be keeping an eye on these guys. They look poised to possibly pop. I'd keep an eye for resistance up in the 630s area, which sounds crazy, but Tesla makes these moves a lot. So if we get a couple more days of sideways action, I might, and premiums deflate, I might want to try to play this both ways. If we can get a strangle on it, it would be probably pretty beneficial. One or the other would take off quite a bit, I would imagine. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And if you guys want to know some more, like, subscribe, check out the Discord. Like I said, we've got that awesome coupon. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the watch list. And